Okay, I am working on a customer's machine today, and it is a Montgomery Ward's J1943. And these are typically really good machines for the era. They can have issues with the stitch selection. So that is always something to check out before you buy one of these used. What will happen is there's two gears, sister gears in there, and they break. They're plastic. And my son did make me some, where's my good screwdriver? One for that spot. I have a long one. I haven't worked on machines in a minute, so I don't have all my tools where I want them. Do I have an empty magnetic bowl? Let's see here. I do not. I'm going to use this cap right here to hold screws. So the problem with this machine is that it is turning really, really slow. Who's here? Rooster Joe! Oh my goodness. You're seeing me do my other side gig. So this machine, the hand wheel is not rotating freely like it should. I think all that's wrong with this machine is that it is dry. A couple of weeks ago, I oiled up the head of the machine, this area up in here, and that has probably made like a 25% improvement. But oh, hey Emmy. Why isn't Emmy subscribed to my channel? Okay, let me see. I got to get this drawer off. I'm wearing nails, so I want to be careful. I don't want my nails to go flying everywhere. There we go. So this has, and you can take this off and make it a free arm machine, which is awesome. So I'm going to take the bottom off of the machine so I can get to and oil the undercarriage per se. Let's see here. So we'll just unscrew this plate. And see what we got under here. There's a moderate amount of dust on the feed dogs. It's not too bad. I've seen much, much worse. But I feel like once we get in here, this is where, okay, this is where the motor is. A lot of, well, that's probably the oil that I put in there. I was just going to say, somebody over oiled this thing. Oh, that would be me. So we're going to take the bottom off of the bobbin hook. So basically I just want to get in here and oil everything up. And see if I can get it to turn freely after that. Come on now. Cover, come off. There we go. Fair amount of dirt in there. Oh, she is. Okay, awesome. Awesome. So a little bit of dust in there. Not too bad. Okay, so that's weird. There's a lot of thread around the gear that drives the race and the hook. And it's just weird to get thread. I could see, you know, like one piece of thread in there, but have 2 or 3 pieces in there is kind of odd. There's one piece of thread right there. Thank you all for joining. This is the first live that I've done on YouTube. I used to do lives all the time on Facebook, and I just haven't in over like 2 years. There we go. And there's another piece of thread right there, stuck in there. Oh, there's another little piece of it in there. There's another one right there. Isn't that crazy? Get that. There's a little lingering piece in there. Let's see if I can get that out. Okay, so I got it all out. So can you all see in there, right there? This is the gear that runs the bobbin hook. So I put some grease in there. Just grease it up real good. I use a synthetic grease called Tri-Flow. I really like it a lot. It doesn't dry out. Okay, so we got that greased up, and we're going to take the bobbin out and the hook and the race and everything. Yeah, it's all covered in oil. Another purple thread, but there's no bobbin in here, so just kind of like a lingering purple thread. Okay. And then we're just gonna put a little bit of oil wherever metal meets metal. I'm gonna shoot a little bit of oil in there. So when the lady brought this machine in before she left it, because she lives in Austin, and Austin is probably like an hour and a half away from me, and I didn't want her leaving this machine if I couldn't fix it, if it had issues. So I determined that the gears on the top were fine and that it was fixable. It was worth fixing. So when I buy these machines and I get them running, I will sell this machine for $125. That's its fair market value. And it's a good machine. I think these were made in Japan. I don't remember. Okay, side cover. Okay, there's 2 screws up here. want to take a look at the belt from the top. The belt looks good. Okay, the motor is churning right, so the stiffness is in the hand wheel. So I'm going to put, on gears is where you should put grease, and then oil goes into like bushings and stuff like that. I think I may have it felt easier where that grease started hitting. Just putting grease all over that gear. The machine's really clean. I'm just getting in here to another bushing down here. Throw some oil directly on it. Try to get oil on all the moving parts. So I already oiled the top. I'm going to put a little bit of grease right here. Let's see what happens when we run her. I've never seen anyone use a hair tie before to do it, but that's kind of ingenious. Okay, let's see. Yeah. Plug her in. Plug her in, plug her in. And do I have another power cord over here? No. Okay, I'm going to unplug my phone for a moment. way too stiff. So, if you have oiled all the parts, and don't see any encumbrances, then you wonder if the stiffness is because of a broken part in the machine. I'm just oiling all the parts that drive the feed dogs and the bobbin case. So thank you for coming in. I am just working on a customer sewing machine, Montgomery Ward's 1943. And I'm thinking about why this machine would be so stiff. Nothing looks to be wrong with it. Everything's been oiled and greased. So when I was testing this machine with her, the feed dogs weren't moving. They are now. And I think I've got, and somebody messed with the tension. And I think I have hit all the oil spots. The reverse is now working. Got all the big bushings down here. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to inspect the inside to see what kind of plastic I got on the inside. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I'm going to heat up some of the, it's starting to move a little bit better. I'm going to heat up some of the mechanisms on this machine. You know, it doesn't look like there is enough oil or enough varnish on this machine to make it stick. I really thought the reason that it wasn't churning real well is because it was dry. And I think that was part of the issue. The bad thing is that this whole, it's kind of, I'm going to call it a cam stack. It's really a cam stack. It's just sideways. It's all plastic. And that's the main drive right there. And it's very well oiled, so I don't think the problem is there. That looks really good. I think I'm going to be forced to unmount the motor and and get into the hand wheel. It's something of a last resort. I didn't want to do that unless I had to, because when you take off the motor, then you gotta, you know, it's just a little bit of work to remount it in the correct position for the belt. The belt's going to need to be replaced. I don't have any. I'll just get with my customer, because she probably won't be able to pick it up until next weekend. If I order one on eBay today, I should get it by then. But this belt is just about dry rotted. Take the hand wheel off. That is dry as a bone. Dry. I can't tell you how dry it is. So I wanted to get in here and maybe get some oil. It's the only place I can think of that I haven't really gotten oil into. Oh, I'm not plugged in. What? That's crazy. I'm off. I'm off. No, that's for that light. That's for that light. Oh, I do have a space. Okay. Oh, look at there. That's what it was. Hoo-hoo! I love it. It is turning. It is turning good. That's what it was. It was there. It was dry right in there. Anybody that's watching, I don't know if anyone's watching right now, but it was dry right in there. Oh my gosh. So what we're going to do is we're going to plug the foot pedal in. Do I already have that plugged in? I have the foot pedal right here. And we're going to run it. Oh, I can't run it without the freaking motor mounted. Ah! I gotta put the motor back on. Oh my goodness. All right, so I like to have a little bit of grease or oil on the shaft here, and I always put a little bit of grease on it. That's my preference because it lasts longer than oil. I guess because it has more viscosity. I think that is the word. And so when you mount the motor back on, in some machines like this one, the motor will weigh down the belt. And you got to make sure that your belt has enough play in it. You don't want it to be tight. A tight belt is not necessarily a good thing. So I got my finger up underneath the motor and I'm holding it. And that feels good. Okay, and let's run her. Oh, I gotta put this back on. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I just want to run this thing. And I keep forgetting there's more parts I gotta put back on it. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh, my camera. Okay, so I'm gonna touch the motor underneath. It is not at all warm. That's a good thing. And this service is almost finished. We just got to test the stitches and see if she will make a stitch. And then if she does make a stitch, then I get to text my customer and say, hey, your machine's ready. She dropped it off just before Christmas, and so there was no way I could work on it right before Christmas, so it's a week. I told her after the new year. So I'm getting it done the weekend after. Oh, let's see here. Now I gotta match up screws. Okay, these screws went on top. Right here. Those. So then start. I think all these came off the bottom. I think we had a longish screw right here. Let's see if this one's it. No, that's not it. That is too slender. Maybe this one. I don't think it was that one. It's not that one. Where's my magnetic tip? There we go. Okay, well, we're not going to worry about that one right now. We'll put together the bottom, and then whatever screw I have left over, then that's the one that goes there. So when I tighten these screws on the bottom, because I'm screwing into plastic, I just get them just a little tight. Don't want to over tighten them. You don't want to crack the plastic, particularly if it's not your machine. Now I have 3 of these machines that I have parted out, and I have the parts for sale on eBay. And they're good machines, but if that one set of gears, that one assembly is broken, I just take the machine apart and then I just sell the parts on eBay. This is one of my slower moving machines in terms of parts. People don't usually rebuild them. If they're looking for something, they're looking for this gear right here. And my son made me some, and I have sold some of those, but just gonna clean off this race. Oh my God, that turns so much better. It just works so good. Putting a machine back together with nails is not easy, y'all. And it gets caught on the nail because I got stupid rhinestones on there. So tilt it back. There we go. Let it down gingerly. The needle plate looks good. Same thing with these screws. There's no reason to over tighten them. They're machine screws, so they usually don't loosen up here. So you just tighten them till they won't go anymore. You don't need to over tighten those. Okay, so this is the only screw left, so it must be the one that goes here on the side. And that's a Phillips. And then let's check. I'm checking to make sure that that is spinning freely, and it is. I'm going to put a new tire on there. This one just looks like it's been sitting for a few years in the same place. So we'll just put a new one on. I buy these like at 50 at a time, so oh, that one's too small. Let's see if I can find one that fits just right. Let's see if it's this one. There we go. And drop a little bit of oil. See where the pivot points are here. It's right there. And we're talking like just a little tiny bit. And it's like almost imperceptible, but it does churn a little bit freer. So it's all about making it less work on the machine to do its thing. You know. So everything that you can loosen up just a little bit is better for the wear and tear on the machine. Okay, so let's plug it back in. I didn't do anything that I would have, you know, changed anything that I fixed, but, you know, just want to make sure. Yes. All right. So she said that her feet were in here. And that was kind of true. She has, her feet need an adapter, and none of the adapters are in there. So we're just going to use this. It's kind of like a zipper foot, but it's not really a zipper foot. I guess it could be, but it's awfully wide. It's like a double-sided foot. Just use that one. And so the other thing that I always do when I'm working on sewing machines, before I do any test stitches, is I always replace the needle, because this machine, I don't know what the history of that needle is, and it could have been on there from 1974. I just don't know. So I always replace the needle because, believe it or not, guys, a bad needle is like 80% of your sewing problems. So where? I don't have anything over here that cuts. I'm looking for a cutting device. No scissors, no knife, no nothing. So, doggone it. Oh, there's a pair of scissors over there. I don't know how my sewing scissors got over here. So anyways, always replace the needle. If you're having knotting up problems and you're having missed stitches or just about anything, always replace the needle. So one of the things I always do, just out of curiosity, is just to make sure they had the right needle in there, and they did. That was a heavy-duty needle in there. So I'm going to put a new needle in. Shove it all the way up in there. And I'm going to use one of my bobbins. And thread the bobbin. Ooh, I put my thread in a, oh, in a jar of oil. Good grief. That's a good spool of thread too, or it was. That's a shame. Okay, I'm reaching. That's an empty wooden spool. There we go, there's a spool of thread. So we're gonna thread it and we're gonna see what happens here. Let's see, there is a thread guide under here. Yes, thread guide. So I'm gonna have to adjust the tension on this machine. When I was fiddling with it, I noticed that it was all the way over to 9, which is not the right tension. So let's make us a fresh end. And everybody cross your fingers, cross your toes that the machine picks up the thread. Haha, and it does. So that's awesome. There's not a timing issue, so that's good. And let's test it out. Let's see, we're on a long straight stitch. Needle down. Let's see what the tension looks like. Oh my God, that's a beautiful stitch. Absolutely gorgeous. Let's see if it makes the corner. Top looks good. Oh my gosh, that's a gorgeous stitch. So pretty. Let me see if I got a zigzag foot in here because I like to test, make sure that all the stitches work. I guess this one will do. Y'all want to see the pretty stitches? I know you do. So it might be hard to see on the gray on the top, but look at the white on the bottom. Sharp corners, that's what you want to see. You don't want to see a missed stitch or the thread pulling in the corner. So that's awesome. I'm going to use one of my feet on this old girl, and I'm going to see what the zigzag stitch looks like. Okay, so I'm going to adjust the width out to 5. I'm going to make sure that the needle clears the foot that I put on it. You don't know, you haven't lived until you've broken a needle just by hitting the foot. That's gorgeous. That is really good. going to tighten up the tension just a little tiny bit. That's better. So when you're working with multiple types of stitches, you might find that you do need to adjust your tension. So I'm going to do the stretch stitch. Let's see what happened here. Start over. That's weird. Let's try that again. It's like advancing the feed dogs like it's doing a buttonhole stitch. It's not. So I got it on its longest stitch length. Let's try it again. There, that's better. No, that is not the way it's supposed to work. So I think there is something wrong with this stitch selector. Let's make sure we can make a straight stitch. And still got a beautiful straight stitch. So let's try another specialty stitch here. Let me see, number 6. Yeah, okay, we'll try number 6. Oh, we got to give it some width. That is so weird. They want to run backwards. Yeah, so the stitch cams are not good on this one. But it does do a straight and a straight and a zigzag stitch. So that's the most important thing. Go back to 0. Let's do a shorter. Reverse works. Oh, broke a thread. Broke a thread and lost my bobbin thread all at the same time. So when you rethread a machine, I always recommend that you just go ahead and rethread it from the very top. Don't just try to rethread from your takedown bar or whatever, because you just want to make sure everything is right, and because 9 times out of 10 you're going to have to rethread the entire thing anyways. Okay, let's test it one more time. It makes a gorgeous stitch. It is really nice. So, the next thing I need to do is text my customer and let her know what that this machine does. So if this was my only machine and all I need, you know, and I was just, you could make garments with a machine that only does straight and zigzag. All the other stitches are just either decorative or help you do things so you don't have to sew as much, like finish a hem or finish a seam and that type of thing. But with the stitches that are working on this machine, then I would be fine with just having this one. So, and she's a beginner sewer, so I think it'll all be fine. So we're going to get it all put back together. And then I guess that's it. I have 2 other sewing machines I need to put together. I really should do them today. I don't know if I will or not. Maybe I'll do them after work tomorrow. They're more vintage than this machine. They are, one is a Singer 401. And the other one is a Singer, oh, golly, what's the number of that machine? 327, or it's a 329. It's just like a 327. It could be a 328, though. So, you can, if you haven't already, like and subscribe, and I'm going to be doing more lives repairing sewing machines. If you need sewing machine parts, I do sell parts on eBay. I have a few dozen sewing machines parts listed for sale, and everything from sewing feet to all that kind of stuff. So I appreciate everyone tuning in, and I'm going to sign off for right now, and I will talk to you guys later. Now I just need to figure out how to shut this thing off.